Hey, how's it going, guys? In this video, I'm going to be talking about brain chips and specifically Elon Musk's new company, Neuralink. Today, he just recently had an update and I watched the whole video. I also watched his past presentation on it as well, so I know a little bit about it, and I'm going to share some of that knowledge with you. Also, please, join the Dill Pickle gang, man. Join the brain chip gang and subscribe. Actually, I do not condone brain chips. I want to make that clear, but please subscribe. Also, after you watch this video, comment down below, because you're probably going to have lots to comment on, because this is going to be one interesting, fascinating, wild ride. What was that? So really quick, I'm just going to break down exactly what Neuralink is. Basically, it's the product, it's also the name of the company. Neuralink, as you can tell by the name, right? It's a connection, it's a link, a connection between your neurons and, external object. For example, that could be a phone, that could even be like a PlayStation 5, could be your Microsoft Surface, could be a laptop, whatever. Now, how is that even possible? Basically, electricity. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Great video. No, but really, electricity, guys. If you didn't know, it's quite an important feature of existence. Basically, everything that you say, everything that you do, everything that you think, feel, is all a result of electricity. Why? Because, well, the human brain has about 86 billion neurons. And there is this constant dialogue in your brain going on between different neurons, depending on the action that you do. Some neurons fire for different purposes. That's really important. Different neurons get fired for different purposes. So right now, as I'm moving my hands, right now, even though I'm completely unaware of it, and if I didn't have a neuroscience textbook or anything like that, I probably would know nothing about neurons, and I would have no idea that there's something electrical going on in my brain. But even as I'm moving my hands, right, there's a specific part, specific region of the brain called the motor cortex that is responsible for movement, for very specific parts of your body. For instance, like if moving my hand, there's a very specific portion of the motor cortex that's getting electrically stimulated. And the brain is a very precise thing. So if I want to move my thumb, there's a very specific portion, again, of the motor cortex that's getting stimulated. If I want to move my left thumb too, again, that's another similar region. If I want to move my pinky, same thing, right? It's a completely different region. But they're all within that kind of motor cortex zone, right? If right now I broke into your house and I put you on a table and just like gave you anesthesia, this is turning dark really fast. I'm sorry. But anyway, let's continue. And then I said to you, I am going to make you move your limbs without you actually willing it yourself. What I would do is I drill a little tiny hole. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. It's safe. Nothing dangerous. We just drill a little tiny hole in your brain, and we stimulate very specific portions of the motor cortex. And you literally, without you even doing it of your own volition, would start moving different parts of your body. But what if I did this not on you, but on somebody, for instance, who had a severed spinal cord and literally just couldn't move a limb of their body, not even their facial muscles? Well, what would happen if you stimulated those corresponding parts, those corresponding neurons? Well, what you would see is that they would be able to move a little bit. Obviously, it wouldn't be from their own will, but if you just stimulate these parts of the motor cortex, some of their body will start moving. And again, these are people who previously, obviously they had a severed spinal cord, could not do something like that, couldn't move at all. In terms of the short term, not the long term, I'm going to get into the long term because you're going to see what Elon Musk's ulterior motive is. But in the short term, the whole goal of Neuralink right now is to make people walk by putting this Neuralink device that's about the size of a quarter, and also has all these little wires that, if you want to know how tiny, how minuscule these wires are, just take a strand of your hair and divide that by 20. That's how thin these wires are, because of course neurons are super, super small. And after drilling a tiny little hole the size of a quarter in the person's head, you'd be able to attach the Neuralink device with all of its electrodes that are able to stimulate electricity right to the neurons, specific neurons. And apparently, just thinking about moving your arm is going to trigger those same neurons for the most part. Earlier today, Elon Musk had a little update presentation on Neuralink and their progress, and he specifically said, literally, these are his own words, he said that I am confident that somebody with a severed spine will be able to walk again with this technology. That's kind of how crazy this is. But I talked about ulterior motives, and really the whole vision behind Neuralink is much grander than that. I feel as though Elon Musk's ultimate goal has to do with artificial intelligence and symbiosis. And this is not me just going off the rails here. He literally said that the most important thing that Neuralink could potentially do is create a symbiosis with artificial intelligence, a sort of merger with technology, something that you would only see in like a cyberpunk film, right? It's quite bizarre. That's his ultimate goal. But there are other crazy things that he apparently says that are gonna happen. For instance, he said that telepathy is a very real possibility with his technology. He also said that the ability to literally recall and trigger certain memories from the past and just kind of live in that reality, it was also possible. So you could just replay your memories over and over again. But now, now that I gave you a little bit of the theory, now I'm gonna start giving my own opinion on it. Because look, Elon, you're a nice guy, okay, man? You're a nice guy, but like, he's very ambitious. I think some of these ideas are just not realistic. In terms of the motor cortex, in terms of being able to move limbs again, I actually do think that's a possibility, because the motor cortex is a very simplistic part of the brain in comparison to other regions, and also be easier to stimulate electrically. But when we're talking about replaying memories and things like that, that's when it gets a little bit ridiculous. Also telepathy, we still don't know that much about the brain, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he's kind of exaggerating some of these claims. There's still a lot of things that we don't know about the brain, and Elon is kind of acting like, no, that's not true, we figured it all out. He literally said that he believes that with this technology we will be able to understand consciousness completely and fully for the first time. I just like, he probably just like hires somebody who's like, okay, I want you to write a list of the most audacious things that I could possibly say. Okay, cool. I'll give you like 5 Teslas. Is a good price? Okay, cool. Yeah. So Neuralink telepathy. Yep. Realistic. You're going to be able to replay memories in your brain. Yep, that's realistic. Oh yeah, also the blind will be able to see, and yeah, we're also going to restore hearing to the deaf. No big deal. It's just kind of like minuscule stuff, small time stuff. Like the ultimate goal, man, is just artificial intelligence symbiosis. Let's be honest here. Let's get real. If I go to anybody in the street right now and tell them these ideas, they think I'm absolutely off the rails. They think I'm just bonkers. At the end of the day, though, I don't feel comfortable with it either way. Like, I just don't feel comfortable with the idea that somebody, just because he has a lot of money and can invent certain technology, can fundamentally change the way that I live intentionally and so comprehensively. Because if you look at a lot of these past inventions, for instance, like they're all just kind of like a drop in the bucket. But this would fundamentally change the way that humans live, if, for example, his claims are accurate. And it begs the question, okay, so what? Let's say, for example, we could do telepathy. Is that good? Is that better? Philosophically, do I really want everybody to know exactly what I'm thinking of, right? 24/7? Like, for example, let's say there's a cute girl that I'm attracted to. Is that just gonna come out right away? Like, she's gonna be able to see that? Like, oh, I'm attracted to her because of the telepathy or something like that. She's gonna be able to read my thoughts. And I think everybody, like, there's also like this condition where people think just about like crazy stuff. Like, I forget exactly what the disorder is, but like they'll think of like the most controversial and like disgusting things. Not because they want to, but like because it's part of the disorder, like they'll think of like murder and stuff like that, and just say like super crazy things like murder is justified or it's good, or you know, stuff like that. To me, words give a filter. They're not perfect. They're not exactly who I am, but they're good enough. I feel comfortable with that. I feel like I have a sense of control. But now I don't. Now you know, if something like this occurs. And also, if this is just like a PR stunt, then that's just, it's kind of pathetic. Because you're telling people who can't walk, who have problems with their spinal cord, who can't move a limb of their body, that, oh, hey guys, there's good news. You're gonna be able to walk soon. I mean, that's, can you imagine that? I mean, I recently watched this documentary of some guy, I forget, who had a certain, paralysis disorder or whatever, and he was trying to find whatever method he could, no matter how dangerous it was, in the hope that it would be able to cure him. And he you know, it didn't turn out very well. I can see a lot of people who just pin all their hopes on this. A lot of people who are disabled are gonna pin all their hopes on this and say, Elon, help me, Elon. Give me that Neuralink, baby, please. I need that. It's kind of scary, man. Like, I don't know, like we're going too fast paced now, man. We need to slow down a little bit. We need to slow down a little bit. I just don't feel as though this is the best trajectory for our civilization, for humans as a whole. And also, one thing I really hated about the whole presentation that I watched was that everybody was like, oh, yeah, why are you doing this? It's like, oh yeah, I want to cure autism. I want to cure the blind. I want to cure this. I want to cure that. That's wishful thinking, man. You're only thinking about the good and the positive outcomes. You're not thinking about the negative outcomes. You're not thinking about that. Like, technology can be used for bad all the time. I don't think when we started using fire, we could have envisioned somebody becoming an arsonist. You know what I mean? Like, no, but that wasn't like an outcome that people, oh, well, people could potentially become arsonists. You know, they could just use this to destroy. No, but we just cook. I mean, it's just, it's solely for making great food. Yeah, but I'm just saying that maybe in like the year 2020, you know, who knows what's gonna happen? Like, they could be like arsonists and they could just manipulate and use your technology in ways that you never envisioned. Yeah, I mean, that's cool, but I'm just like, this is some really killer deer meat. Do you want, this is like medium rare. Are you good with that? Yeah, I mean, I like rare. Rare is kind of good for me. That's a lot of blood though, man. It's kind of, yeah, I like it bloody. But I don't know, man. Just, it's idealistic nonsense to me. It is, you know. People are always envisioning the most promising outcomes, and that's just naivety to me. And quite frankly, Elon Musk, I love you, boy, but you're not. I can't say it. I can't say it yet. I can't say it. I'm in the cult, man. I'm in the cult already. No, but seriously, it's naive. Don't do it. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to say that today, again, I told you about the presentation. Well, he did a little bit of an experiment with 3 little piggies. And the whole experiment was basically he just got 3 pigs, and each of them had a little Neuralink connected. And one of them, I believe, even had multiple of them. So the whole point was that it showed that it was functioning properly. But most importantly, they also showed, like, literally as it was eating, you could see the neurons firing, because they had a little like I don't know what the term is, but like, for example, if I was talking to a mic, you know how like the audio volume goes? It's kind of like that. Like, if a bunch of neurons were firing, you could like literally see it. It was really cool. As for humans, Elon did announce that they got a like some sort of approval from the FDA, and that they were now going to be able to experiment on humans who volunteered. I think he said that the goal is to like try to test it out on like 3 humans. Most likely it's probably gonna work with people who have difficulties moving limbs. But anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Please comment down below, because yeah, this is obviously a bizarre little situation and I want to hear your comments on it. Also, feel free to, you know, subscribe, because I'm gonna be making some other content in the future that you're gonna like, maybe, right? But regardless, thank you so much for checking out this video, and I hope you have a nice one.